We now know a group of Russians tried to hack Hillary Clinton's personal email server. Russian-linked hackers tried at least 5 times. Karl Rove, former Deputy Chief of Staff to President George W. Bush and a Fox News contributor. And Karl, good morning. Good morning to you. Apparently they were not successful. What's this tell you on the outside?
Well, this tells me that it's further proof that this was a reckless act when Hillary Clinton decided to use a private email server to conduct all of her business. And if you step back for a minute and look at this whole exchange that pops up between Anne-Marie Slaughter, the Director of Strategic Planning, and Cheryl Mills, Chief of Staff, and Hillary Clinton, you can see that they knew exactly what their private server was providing, which was an opportunity for people to hack the Secretary of State's private email.
Yeah. Now there was no breach, right? There's no evidence of a breach so far. That's what we're being told here.
No.
But a couple of things here, very important. Sidney Blumenthal is sending emails and she's forwarding. This was after Gaddafi was on the run in October of 2011. He said, "I've got word that he's hanging out in the African nation of Chad." She forwards it, says, "Sounds credible. Can we verify?" I mean, talk about national secrets in the middle of a story like that.
Yeah, well, remember, out of the 3,849 messages that were released this week, nearly 6% of them, 1 out of every 20, contains sensitive, classified information. Over 200 of them at the lowest level, but 3 of them at the top secret level. Now, remember, Hillary Clinton said initially, no classified information traveled through this network. Then she changed it to say, no material that was classified at the time of sending went through this network. Well, that's complete baloney. That's why you have a secure email system, because the kind of information that a Secretary of State is receiving and sending a lot of it will be considered classified once people look at it. You know, Sidney Blumenthal sends her this email message saying Gaddafi may be in Chad. And is that sensitive information? Absolutely. Would our adversaries like to know?
It wasn't true, but it's sensitive information. But Karl, on some of these email threads, they talk about the level of technology of the State Department being so outdated that people are using their own devices anyway. I mean, this was an active topic of conversation. Cheryl Mills responds in one of the email threads that Hillary Clinton's name was attached and says, "As someone who attempted to be hacked, yes, I was one. I'm not sure we want to telegraph how much folks do or don't do off state mail because it may encourage others who are out there." The irony of this just smacks you in the face is obvious.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a great piece today at National Review Online by Shannon Coffin, who was a White House colleague of mine, a lawyer in the counsel's office, and he points out that this exchange you're referring to between Slaughter, Mills, and Clinton points out that 3 things. 1, they were aware that there were security risks to using a private network. 2, they knew that private accounts would draw hackers. And what was the result? 3, they ordered the rank and file at the State Department to use official accounts, not private accounts, to conduct their business. All the while, they're using private accounts to conduct their business.
And you know what it is, Karl? It's a big fat duh. Now, listen, like duh. Yeah. The first 2 months as Secretary of State, those emails are missing at the moment, okay? We'll see at what point they turn up. 37% of 30,000 emails have now been released. So then, what is next?
Well, look, every month we're going to get similar revelations about these messages, and it's going to simply add to her continuing problem. Take a look. These are 2 polls from late September. Do you think she's honest and trustworthy? Quinnipiac, yes, 32, no, 63, including 22% of Democrats don't think that she's being honest, that she's not honest and trustworthy. Is she lying about this in the Fox News poll? Yes, 58, no, 32. This is a real problem. Even 31% of Democrats think that she's lying about the emails. So every month we're going to get more evidence of that this was reckless, that this was wrong, that this was in violation of the rules, that classified and top secret information was being routinely transmitted, and we're going to get insights into the kind of advice she was getting. One of the more interesting side stories was Sidney Blumenthal's email to her about Libya, in which he says basically these idiots at the White House with their lead from behind theme, you know, blow that up by showing that you led from the front, and incidentally stand up and say that our policy was persistent and steady in Libya, and as a result we removed Gaddafi. Well, after that point, our policy became anything but steady and persistent as we let the country descend into a mess.
As it is today. Karl Rove, thank you. Austin, Texas. We'll talk again. Thanks, Karl. Patty Ann.